An artist works hard to express their feelings, experiences, and reactions to art, and their environment also influences how they see and use shapes, textures, and colors. Good day, everyone. I am ERIKA, HAMO, and we'll be discussing all about elements of auditory art. Music. Music is a form of art. Came from the Greek word musice and Latin musica. It is also known as the language of the soul. It expresses emotions, thoughts, and experiences. It is also part of the human life for enjoyment and expression. Next is the difference of music and noise. Music are the vibrations that are uniform and synchronous, or it is pleasant to the ear, whereas noise is the vibration that are irregular and asynchronous, which is unpleasant to the ear. Example of music are the songs, and the noise are the noise that we hear from outside, market, or anywhere that is noisy. Next is the elements of music. Firstly is the pitch. Pitch describes the highness or the lowness of the sound. It is produced by the instrument or voice. It has clarity and stability of musical. It is irregular sound created noise. It is defined by frequency of vibration, and it is a key identifier of musical notes. Next is rhythm. It is referred to the movement or pattern of the sound. It is found in heartbeat, waves, and season. It is the most basic element of music. It gives timing, beat, and motion. It creates emotion and tension. It is organized in regular rhythmic beats. Timbre and texture. It is known as the tone color of the sound quality, and it describes the thickness or thinness of the sound. And texture refers to the layers of sound in a musical piece, which can be simple or complex. It depends on the instrumental shape and size. It also adds variety and expression to the music. It avoids monotony and composition, and the technology helps improve the sound quality. Next is we'll discuss the texture and timbre of music. First is monotony. It is the one melody and a single layer of sound, and it is the simplest music experience. Heterophony. It is the one melody and different vibration played together, and it is found in folk and traditional music. Lastly is homophony. It is one independent melody occurring at the same time. It is counterpoint and contrapuntal music, and it is common in baroque music. Next is melody. It is the orderly succession of musical sound, combines pitch and rhythm, most recognizable element of music. It gives unity and tonality, and it creates a complete musical idea. Lastly is dynamics. It refers to the loudness or softness of the sound. If it has wide dynamic range, it means that both are very soft and very loud parts are in one piece. And dynamics can be changed suddenly or gradually. Crescendo means getting louder, and the crescendo means getting softer. And that's all.
Now let's move on to the elements of fine arts. First is dance. Dance is a form implying a series of movements as they flow with the rhythm most times in the same. It expresses an idea, emotion, or feeling. It narrates a story or storyline and gives pleasure or enjoyment to the performer and audience. Dance is an art form that uses body movement. It's not just movement. It expresses ideas, emotion, or stories. Aside from entertainment, dance can also be part of religious or tribal traditions. We have 4 elements of dance. The first one is music. This element is closely related to dance and plays a significant role in dancing. Music accompanies the movement of the dancer. Music is very important in dance because it gives the rhythm and emotion. It also helps dancer timing and movement. The second one is movement. So this refers to various body motion to express feeling and emotion. Our bodies move in ways to express ourselves is the locomotor and non-locomotor movement. Movement is the action of the body that shows feelings or ideas. It also described by its quality or how it is performed. The third one is theme. This refers to the whole message of the dance performed. The theme is the main message or story of dance. It shows what the performance is trying to say or represent. And lastly, energy. Energy is a force at which we express our body emotions. Energy ang mahatag ng life to every movement. Napakita siya kung how strong, soft, or emotional the dance is.
Okay, so now we move on to theater. Theater is a combination of visual and oral arts, from which feelings and emotions are expressed in human body movements and their voice. It comes from the Greek word theater, which means a place for seeing, and that means to see. And because of that, theater is something that is not just seen, but also a way of expressing, a humanistic way of expressing emotions, feelings, to towards another kind of audience. Moving on to that, there are 3 known elements of a theater. Because number 1, we have the plot, and that is the sequence of events, but quite different in the story that we used to read. It requires a linear action, meaning it goes on from one point to the other in a more linear way. Let's say it starts with the beginning, and then we want to express an action, the climax, the falling action, and the denouement, and so forth, that we were able to grasp how the story goes in a theatrical play. Moving on to that, we have music. Music is indeed a very important fuel to reveal emotional life of a certain character. It adds more moral depth as to what a character or situation is displaying towards the audience. It is something that is never stopped in theatrical performance, and it is something that depicts the character's situation, the background, and of course adds the overall essence towards the entire play. And of course, those two would also require one more thing in the elements of theater, and that is the costume. When we say costume, it's in a place considered as a non-verbal element to consider as an important one, because it depicts your character, who, what, or who you're trying to portray via what you wear. Meaning to say that the things that we wear, per se, if I were a woman, I would wear what? Very clothes, anything that depicts, or anything for the audience to see that what I'm trying to portray is a character that I am trying to act, or I'm trying to depict. And yeah, that's for it. Yeah. Now we move on to cinema or film. The only difference between cinema and the theatrical play is that number one, theatrical plays are meant to be seen, and the audiences can see the characters playing out on stage. And for cinema, it is really more of a story being told through a series of moving images. And cinema can refer both to the film itself and the broader art and industry of filmmaking. I mean to say that the things we see, the movies that we see today, an example would be Star Wars, something like that, are examples of an example of cinema. And that's something compared to theatrical plays like Mamma Mia or LYCKA, where we can actually see the people in the stage. Meanwhile, for cinema, again, we're only seeing them in a big screen. And that is all for theatrical plays and cinemas.
We will tackle the elements of literature. So what is literature? Literature refers to written or spoken works that express ideas, emotions, and experiences using artistic methods. Folk or oral literature is an early sport of literature including epics and stories handed down orally from generation to generation. These stories endure through time because they are entertaining, reflect cultural needs, and contain universal human truths. Next, it helps people understand their culture and become socially aware and what this was to explain the mysteries of the world, to express fears and dreams, to impose order on life's chaos, and lastly to entertain and forms of folk literature. It has 6. First, folk song accompanied by musical instruments often used in rituals or to express emotion. Example was Ate Chupong Sing and Dr. Next is ballad. Originated in medieval Europe, it's a narrative song that tells stories of love, heroism, and war. Example is Bonnie or Ballad. The third was folk drama, a combination of song and dance showing early religious or sacred rituals. Example was Vitaki drama. The fourth one was Fables. It is a short story which teaches morals, values, such as responsibility, and respect. Example was the Rabbit Turtling. Fifth was the folk tales, stories of heroes and people from different times teaching respect for nature and gods and society. Example was Cinderella, Inakuni, and Marianne. Lastly was Proverbs, riddles, and charms. Proverbs was a wise saying expressing truths about life. Example of this is the book of Proverbs from the Bible. Riddle was a witty question or a statement that entertain or teach. And lastly, charms, verses believed to hold musical power linked with Ahima or Luke. Now let's talk about the elements of poetry. So what is poetry? Poetry is a Greek word poesis, meaning making, a derived art that uses static and rhythmic language to evoke emotion and meanings beyond ordinary words. Its purpose is to delight and inspire readers, express emotion and use them in an artistic form, to make readers think deeply with imagination and sound. Elements of poetry has 5 forms. First is voice, which is the speaker, audience, and tone. Speaker is the persona, or the character speaking the poem. Audience is the one to whom speaker addresses the poem. And lastly, the tone, the poet's attitude towards the subject, shown through choice, rhythm, and imaginary. Next is diction, imaginary, figure of speech, symbolism, and allegory. Diction was a word choice that affects the poem's sound, meaning, and emotion. Imaginary was a vivid language that appeals to the senses. Figure of speech is a created comparison. Symbolism is an object or actions representing deeper meanings, while allegory was extended symbolism expressing a broader moral or meaning. Next is syntax, sound, rhyme, rhythm, and meter. Syntax was an arrangement of words to create sound and imaginary. Rhythm and rhyme was a create music and flowing lines. Meter was a measuring pattern of beats in poetry. And so lastly, next we have structure. It refers to how a poem is organized. Top first was sonnet, 49 poem about human emotions. Haiku was 575 poem. Ballad was a full poem highlighting experiences. Free verse was a no-structure rhyme or meter. Public poetry is a poem shaped like a structure. And lastly, we have interpretation or theme. It refers to the elements work together to reveal the poem's meaning. Theme is the main method or idea expressed the complete sentence, which is there is no single correct interpretation, but what matters the most is the evidence in the poem supporting that. Hello everyone, I am Gabriel, and for today I will be discussing about this one form of literature called drama. What is drama? Drama is literature meant to be performed. These performances are usually showcased in an orchestra, a circular dancing place. Drama actually goes hand in hand with theater. The theater are the ones who are concerned with the performance of these drama. Now, let's get down to history. Let me introduce to you the god associated with drama, Dionysus. He is the god of wine, madness, vegetation, and theater. He is known for his dual nature of bringing both joy and madness. Before, his followers would hold these celebratory choral lyric to honor him. This choral lyric is called the Dithyramb. In the plays before, all the presenters would sing and dance in unison. Not until one person started stepping out of the spotlight and recited lyrics as a character. His name was Thespius. He was the one who introduced the first actor called Hippocrates. Now, what is drama without playwrights? Before, the playwrights would submit scripts to be played during the festivals honoring Dionysus. And among hundreds of playwrights, there are 5 who dominated the theater. Let me first introduce the 3 great tragedians or tragedy dramatists. First, we have Aeschylus. He is considered to be the father of drama or tragedy. He also introduced the concept of a second actor, which allowed true dialogue, creating conflict on stage and adding depth to the plot and characters. Next, we have Sophocles, who is next to Aeschylus in terms of recognition. He is also the most acclaimed and won many awards compared to Aeschylus and Eurydice. He introduced a third actor, which fundamentally changed the dynamic of Greek theater. This added element allows for more complex and in-depth character interactions and more richer dramatic situations. Last, we have ERIKA. He is the youngest of the three tragedy playwrights. Though he is less acclaimed in his time, his work became immensely popular in later times. He has also foreshadowed drama as it is known today. How? By showcasing the everyday life of common people. Instead of the kings, nobles, princes, and heroes, he features realistic themes. The following two figures I'm going to mention are actually prominent on the comedy side of drama. First, we have Aristophanes. He is recognized as a representative of old comedy. Known for his sharp satire towards politics, society, and more, his plays are often referencing prominent figures in his time. Next, we have Menander. He is recognized as a representative of new comedy. Unlike Aristophanes, his plays were centered around common people, around everyday opinion systems. He features realistic and relatable plots. Now, we will move on to the main types of drama. First, we have tragedy. It is the most revered form of drama. It explores human struggles and how great individuals could bring ruin to themselves and to their cities. Next, we have comedy. Unlike tragedy, it is more light. It expresses the lighter side of the illnesses, and often showcases satires. These types of drama can be found during the medieval times. The following dramas, or type of dramas, can be found during the medieval times. First, we have morality play. This play teaches moral and spiritual lessons, showcasing the struggle between good and evil. Next, we have mystery play. These are dramatized biblical stories performed in local languages for the general public meant to garner more worshippers. Miracle play are dramas based on the lives and miracles and martyrdoms of saints. We also have farce, a comedic play full of exaggerated situations designed purely for entertainment. Pantomime, a play without spoken dialogue, where the story is told through gesture, movement, facial expressions, and music. Last, we have the medieval drama. It refers to all forms of European dramas from about the 10th century to the 15th century. Now, for the last topic of our group, I will be discussing about the last form of literature. Essay. Essay is a form of literary art that expresses the writer's thoughts, ideas, expression, and reflections about a particular subject. It combines facts and opinions, written in a personal and creative way. As a piece of art, an essay is not just a form. It also reveals the writer's personality, emotions, and style, making it both intellectual and artistic. The essay's power lies in how it communicates truth through language, tone, and structure, turning ideas into something meaningful and engaging for readers. Let me introduce the three elements of essay. First, we have the introduction. The introduction presents the topic and captures the reader's attention. It gives background information and often includes a thesis statement, which tells what the essay will discuss or argue. This part of the essay establishes the essay's purpose and tone. Next, we have the body. The body is the main part of the essay. It develops a thesis statement through facts, explanation, and examples. Each paragraph focuses on one main topic or idea, supported by evidence or reasoning. This is where the writer's creativity and insight as a literary artist shine. Last, we have a conclusion. The conclusion summarizes the main points and restates the thesis in a new, thoughtful way. It leaves a final impression on the reader, sometimes offering reflection, a moral lesson, or a call to think deeper. It summarizes the idea of the content of the body, gives final observation, and closing remark. An essay, as an art form in literature, is more than an argument. It is a personal expression of truth and creativity, using structure and language to move both the mind and the heart.